Oh, sorry, wrong place. And also, using wrong avatar for this thing. Hold on a little bit. Um, eh. Oh, it's weird that my mic is not picking up. I mean, like my other mic. Hold on a little bit. Okay, now they're picking up. Okay, I need to go back to my studio mode and characters. Yep, I'm back. I'm back. All right, all right. Hello everyone again. My name is Gary Baku and I am your host and your voice here to entertain you and may or may not have no idea what the heck I'm doing. And finally, I can use my void form. Like I can draw my void form for actual purpose use. And I'm going to do a little bit of line drawing and stuff. So it's going to be a little bit might not be your kick or something the particular kick on like for people to to think about. But yeah, I'm going to draw a little bit on stuffed. Maybe not much, but so basically I need to put myself over here. I'm actually currently like drawing up shit just to know what I'm actually doing. This will be hero screen 1. Hero screen 2. Hero screen 3. Then also hero screen 4. Okay, good. And I'm going to stretch you out. I'm going to do a little bit of designing and stuff. And have to create like health bar, mana system, this and that, yada yada stuff. And I need to write down like a story, a beginning story for me to start this D&D sessions. I'm still haven't really find a way to properly create them properly first. Of course, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of 4 together. Hold on a little bit. Basically, 4 Vtuber head. We'll put it in here. And then I might need to. This is like the anime info. This is like your info, like the play info. They have tab and stuff. Basically like tab 1, tab 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then I'll be here. and info. This is the screen. Well, technically Control C, Control V. And then using this to control them better. And everyone have their own stat and stuff. Let me move to way on this thing. Yep, should be working properly like this. Then another. Oh yeah. Me applying some hot water to my tea first. Me wear my gloved. Hello there, Ron. It's been a while I haven't streamed around like this time. I'm currently creating an overlay. That is for a pen and paper dungeon game that I'm making. I want to create like a collab that is like, if anyone like seen like Fauna, she have like that. If anyone watch at Hololive, like Fauna have like this like dungeon game that she do that play with like different generations of EA member, and I feel like I also want to make something like that too, but with much more twist into it, and a little bit much more difficulty. Like here's the thing, I will every single time, like depends, like if I have like every single sessions that I create for that like collab, I will have like custom made class that one class would definitely be a joke class. So it's basically always like I'm going to like create 5 class system for them to choose, and one is definitely a joke class. So it depends on like my my collab people who do the collab, they will like manage to choose the Joker one. And some might sound like some class might sound like very idiotic or stupid, and then they're actually very overpowered. I actually have like one idea is like he's called like a detective. He's technically a joke class, but his second class is like basically everyone can like once they reach like the 7 encounters, they can like get like a class advancement. The second class advancement will be like ridiculously powerful. It's because like that class doesn't have an attack. You roll 1 between 10. You basically like use the dice. My control is use the dice of 10, like use the 10 die to play the game. Just one 10 die. So everything is revolving around that 10 die. So it depends on what you roll, and then you will like have like depends like if you want to attack, and then you roll between 1 to 10. If you roll a 2, you do this. You roll a 10, you roll a 6, you do that. Like each character have their own set of like gimmick coming to it, and there's like one class I now in my head is called detective. That class is basically no attack. All his attack is deductions. So it's like depends on how far like his level goes, he will gain like the power of detections, deductive. So it's like if you roll 1, you make a false deductions. Basically it's like you basically have to sprout some nonsense like this guy's not wearing underwear, something like that, like a very like very ridiculously, or it's basically it's like either you can A, say something very false, or B, you have to say something like a no shit Sherlock no shit Sherlock like moment. So it's basically he is holding a sword something like that. So every one class have like a very funny penalty if they manage to like get like unlucky to roll stuff. So it's basically everyone will choose 2 numbers, and then one of the number will be their unlucky roll, and then one of the number will be their nat 20. So that will do like special things, and then like special failure. So it depends on like the die of 10, like it's literally have 10 numbers there. So like the moment you manage to like roll it badly is really funny. Of course there's a miss roll, and then like hit roll, and then it depends on like which number you get. Like basically most of the numbers already like generated. I just replacing which one is going to be the special one. And as for like detective thingy, they have the ability to deduct what stat that person have. They can choose one particular basically deductions is basically you can like roll, you get like one level 1 deduction, you can choose one of the stat and then they will be reviewed. Usually they have to be hit, or they have to be hit to actually be reviewed, or in some circumstances on some encounters that stat will review. But if the stat is originally hidden, they will be reviewed that way. Or you can choose like what item, weapons, or like the level, or basically anything about the enemy that will be reviewed. Like even like if like deductive is basically command me to say bullshit. It's in a way either review like important informations, or they have to ask they have to like deduct something about that characters. and then I have to make up something on the spot just to talk. It's like they hit like a level 3 deductions or like level 2 deduction, and he wants to deduct what kind of weakness he have, and then I can just say he have peanut allergy. So if they have a jar of peanut butters, they can coat their weapon with peanut butter and deal extra damage. Something like that. I am trying my best to figure out the best way to do it, and the game name is called The Dungeon from the Void. So it's an awesome name because it's me. I am the void itself, so it's the void that I created. It's the dungeon that I created, and then everyone will go into each encounters. They will go into a portal, and then come out into some other setting. There can be like a sci-fi setting. They can be like a what kind of setting? Like fantasy setting, like modern era setting, like old ancient era setting, or like some like very Adam and Eve setting, or like Warhammer setting. Really depends on like what kind of like random things I can like do it. It's basically a lot of the scripting about the dungeon is basically me just making shit up. But it does have a formula to follow, and most of the encounter will be mixed. It's just the theme, environment, most of the things that when it comes to like different dungeons, I would just make it flyby creations. So, hi there, Geeks Up. Probably a good night. Yes, it is a good night for me. It's like, what time is it? 2:42. Yep. It's 2:42 for me. Don't get shocked by the time. It's just that here's the thing, like I kind of always pissed off when people call me lazy, because here's the thing. Let me lower down music a little bit. Forgot to lower it down. Here's the thing. I'm the kind of persons who actually literally, if he kind of like really in the zone, if I'm in the zone or if I'm in good conditions, I will always work. I will always do what I want to do. I keep doing it, and there's so many times I actually did so much that either collapse on exhaustions, or there's like twice when I studied engineer back then. I was so into engineering, I faint from overwork. But yeah, so sometimes I do get a little bit pissed off that my family always perceive me as like a lazy asshole. But yeah. Again, nothing too much. Middle of the day nap, not just cicadas really all whack. No, actually. Really, I just have full of energy today. Here's the thing. This is me usually. If you notice, I've been streaming like shit tons for this short period amount of time. Is basically I always doing things. And why I say back in the day, streaming is my hobby. And how did I manage to get like famous while I was streaming on Facebook? It's generally I'm almost always streaming. I do take a break in between, but I will always come back streaming really fast. Why I do that is because I like to do things, but I will procrastinate when I do things. So the only way for me to be able to actively do stuff is to do stuff online while I'm live. So it gave me a reason to do work. And that's all. That's all. I don't really need like a shit tons of like 1,000, 1,000,000 of audience like watching me doing stuff, doing random shit. I just want to stream and then do my work and have some time, like have some fun chat with people, this and that, yeah, that stuff. So currently, I have an idea of creating a Dungeon and Dragon type like pen and paper game. Hold on a little bit, I'm making... So currently I'm making like an overlay for it. As you can see, because it's literally called the Dungeon of Void. Of course, it looks like my chest. So it's going to open up. This is the player screen. This is me, and then I need to create a 4 profile here, and then this is the player profile, and then this is the enemy profile. And I need to create like some sort of like image tab system, this and that, yeah, that stuff. That's quite a lot of things to do. And fun fact about like why, like back in the days, I do a lot of this kind of stream. Mainly is for one fun thing, how I actually managed to, without any idea, become famous back in the days. Is my content is weird. Like when you can say like every streamer have their niche content, my content is me making content and talk a lot of shit about it. I'm a little bit thirsty. Let me drink a little bit of my tea. And there you go. Now you guys will slowly understand me more and more. I'm basically just a guy who have no impulse control. But here's the thing, you will always watch me forever doing stuff, never actually like use the stuff I do. Yeah, like there's lots of things. Like here's the thing, like here's an example, is basically is my like Ace Attorney. Like everyone, I give everyone like a draw, like a PNG avatar, and then for some reason I don't have one. Weird, right? It's because I just like to draw. I like to apply stuff on people rather than on myself most of the time. And now I'm actually also like doing a like starting soon screen animations, but I don't think I'm going to use me as a guinea pig. I'm going to like find someone else to become a guinea pig instead of me. But I might actually use myself. Really depends. So the idea is this thing. the background will just keep going back, and then of course like you can see this like while the background is back, you will see like something coming up. My character would jump over it, or it just can be just running animations, or like just jump for no reason, and then or just sitting there like boing 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 boing, something like that. I can slow down the, you know, like the jump area, but generally it should be the same. And then like they sometimes will like pass some Easter egg stuff like behind the background, like moved, either be like someone that stream with me most of the times, or like some Easter egg from my comic stuff, some this and that, my lore related stuff like fly past by. This is called like the treadmill animations. It's basically it's a very like idle type animations that let people like watch stuff move and thing. I can literally swap this thing instead of like just hopping into like running animations. I should actually make one running animations just to do as a proof of concept too, because I'm going to use this as one of my VGen service. It's going to be taking a very long time to actually make that happen. Animation is something very difficult to do. Film analysis class. Such an interesting class. I think my course actually I can choose that. I just choose not to, because I choose to do the actual filming rather than film analysis. Because I get to choose two choices. One is film analysis. You basically just watch movie and then write a report about it. And the second one is to learn how to use the camera, how to pan, this and that, that stuff, how to make things cinematic, this and that, that stuff. I actually filmed like a commercial. I filmed a commercial for it, and if anyone know that famous like homicide scene about like the girl like in the bathroom, and then the guy like come in with the knife and stab the shit out of the girl. Yeah, I did that, but I end up delete that particular clip is because like nobody want to see a fat naked man in the toilet getting stabbed by a stress ball. Yeah, I was like doing like a commercial for stress ball just for fun, and that is also my that I learned that I can actually do this very technically a very commercial voice. I even just add a little bit like lo-fi filters into it. I can literally sounds like a radio man. And that is like the fun part that I do, like the stress ball that can do anything. Not a guy in the toilet. Like there's a girl in a toilet. It basically is like the scary homicide film. Yes, that one. But I recreated with me. It's really funny. Hey, fun never ends. Hi there. I'm still making the overlay for it. I have like quite a lot of like system already made for this thing. It's just that I need to write it. I actually write it down. Like I already have a talk with like some of my friends that is like very deep into D&D, and I do have a base to follow already. If anyone watch Hololive, like found out like do the dungeon with the the D&D stuff with the what again? With the EN member. It's similar to that. Similar to that. How do I make a window? I need to create something like a tab window, but I don't know how to. Should I just grab like some asset for it, or just make my own asset? I'm not really sure. You know what? Nah, we don't use Wii mode these days. We use something else now. The less lethal Joy-Con with our actual fist while we're playing the Wii Fitness. You know, actually, Wii Fitness, not Wii Fit. The what again? You know, like that's like a boxing game from like Wii, right? Not Wii. Switch boxing Switch. That one is like got discontinued weirdly, but the reason for them to discontinue is actually really funny. Oops. I don't know. If you guys didn't know about it, it's like the one that with the Miku one. Not arm. It's not. It's just like a ring. It's like Ring Fit, but it's a different Ring Fit. Like Ring Fit have that ring, right? And then there's one is like for the boxing one. They discontinue the boxing one. The reason is really ridiculous. Is actually they basically only license the music for the game for 5 years. So the 5-year license is gone, so they just stopped selling the game. Like the now the only existence of the game is literally just the card version of it. Oops. Wrong lace. Not this one. This one. Let's go for 5. Then another. Maybe 3, not 5. Okay, with this, I can use a much more brighter gray color. Use gradient, oval shape. Oops. Oval shape. And then use blur tool. Oh, wait. open a new one first. Then I can use the gradient. Nope, not big enough. Okay, good. Use this. And now... Ooh, can I actually do this? Yeah, I can't. It actually looks much more better. Let me try to use a darker color for this. Ooh. Alright, alright, alright. It looks wonderful, actually. Huh. Try to... Ooh. This one has some ominous feelings to it. It's nice. Yeah, funny thing is, like, if you guys like take a look, this is the thumbnail that I made for it. Finally, I can use the face, my void face. Yeah, in the futures, I will more flesh out this thumbnail in the futures because like it's going to use for my collab thingy. Okay, one from here. I want I don't want just like plain folders. I want it to look like something. Okay. Oh, now I got an idea for like one of a class. It's called Future Warrior. So basically, it's like the standard warrior class, but like each and every like one like will have like funny gimmick. So Future Warrior is the funny gimmick is he have a passive. He only have passive. He don't have a skill. Most people would like he have like a standard warrior like attack roll, but he don't like usually warrior like have like you can choose two different skill. One is like chuck a rock at people. Another one is basically just like a rush attack. So you can do either of them. Choose like either one of them only. But for Future Warrior, you don't have a skill to select because you are actually pretty useless. But you have a passive. You have a very stupid passive. That passive skill will be you read yourself like inside the adventure. It's basically you are a warrior from the futures, so you know your future because you read about your future before you came back to the future. So you know every single things that will happen. But so your passive is to your passive name is literally called I know the futures. So it's I can see the futures. I can see the future. So it's basically you can always reactions your dodge roll. Yeah, you can completely dodge people attack if you roll an opposite of the of your like enemy attack numbers. Basically, how I'm not sure like how the lingos work. It's basically like they have like odds and even, right? So it's like it's a roll of 10 die. So it's like if your enemy roll an attack of an even, they will get if they will attack you if you also roll even. It's like they roll 2 or 4 or 6, and then you roll a 2, you can you cannot dodge attack, you get hit. And then if you roll an opposite, if they roll like a 6 and then you roll 3 is odd, then you can dodge the attack because you misalign your fate. So you would dodge an attack, prevent yourself from damage. That is like the Future Warrior passive. And then the advanced class upgrade will be the Future Warrior. So now they actually like have like by default they get a kick-ass laser sword that increase damage by 1. It should not be 1. At least give them a little bit like damage by 2. And that laser sword have skill. Here's the thing, like for me, how I'm going to set up how the skill system work. Let me finish drawing this line first before I start yapping about. Hold on a little bit. So how most of the class system work is each member depends they are mage, warrior, or rangers. So also like it's a very weird. So there will be like 3 different, generally like 3 different type of defense, and 3 different type of how should I say? Make it simple. I write it down. It's like all right. So there will be HP. Oops. There'll be HP and MP. So this tree will like they have like a 3 different thing. You can either have armor or mana shield. So you can either have armor or mana shield. So if you use like mana shield and armor have a really different thing. Armored only recovered after your encounter. So you have an encounter, you start a fight, you chip off all the armored, you can't recover them. So it will start damaging your HP. Warrior will have armored. anything that is mage-like, they will have a mana shield. Mana shield features is different. It's basically once your mana shield is gone, and you can use your MP to supplement your mana shield. So basically, if you take damage again, you can choose to get your HP damage or just use your mana to replace as a damage. And mage have usually have like a certain all mage will have like a standard mage, I could say. Standard mage sorcerer, they will have like a very funny starting bonus. Is usually every single class they would have like a starting bonus. Mage, imagine like by default you have 5 HP. Like mage, I give you 5, and you have 10 mana. And I give you a choice. Do you want to convert your HP to your mana? I can let them convert how many HP they want. So they literally want 1 HP. I'm fine with it. If you guys want to choose like the most stupidest, I let my like basically I'm going to offer like a lot of choice for my players going to like play how they are going to play. So now you got 14 HP. 14 MP, and you can use it to cast spell and stuff. You know, I would never let them know actually that there are attacks that can completely avoid mana shield. Just hit you directly your HP. I would never tell them that. Actually, such attack does exist. Depends on the realize or not. Basically, I'm just going to how I'm offering how to start the game is basically I will give them 5 class. But I won't tell them what this 5 class do. I'm going to give them either a very generic name as like fighter. Oops. And then mage. And then suddenly there's a detective. And jester. Oh, and then like a archer. So it will just display their HP, their armored, the HP for fighter of course is stamina. Their stamina, and then their armored. For mage, like the standard, like I told you, and those things. It's just the most basic stat thingy. By just reading, they might low-key know like what kind of situation they are in. They can try to select the class. Here's the thing, the skill I just randomly made up for them, I will. So depends on how they choose their class. I would give them the shittiest skill or like the funniest skill I can think of. It's like fighter, I will always let them have the ability to choose. You can either choose 2 skill. One is like the very useful one, and then one is completely useless. Like it's like, okay, this is a shield charge you have, and then this one is shield throw. Because your character have a shield. So people might think, oh, shield throw, I have a range attack with shield throw, right? Yes, you have. But I didn't tell them, actually, if they use shield throw, they would lose all their armor because they lost their only thing to protect themselves. They chuck the shield once, they can't grab it back until like finishing like the entire encounter. Who think you can throw your shield and then it bounces back like freaking Captain America? I didn't tell you that, you just assumed that way. Once they chuck the shield and then I'll be surprised that, oh, do you know, actually if you chuck a shield, your armor will be gone. And then they cannot replace the skill ever again, they can just choose one skill. So after they choose like the shield throw, they basically have the most useless skill in the world. They can deal like range damage like once. So it's basically my entire dungeon is me trolling my player. It's just that. It's just me purely trolling the player. And then like mage always like will have like magic stuff, but I will allow them to cast magic even though they don't have mana anymore. The mana is work because they are in the dungeon of the void, well, from the void. So mana over there is a little bit funky wonky. So if they want to cast magic while they ran out of mana, you can go your magic until you have negative, but there is consequences. They have to like roll a saving throw. And if they didn't manage to save the throw, that will be like a very hilarious stuff that will be happening. Really depends. It's either some very funny stuff that happened that you kind of like lost your balance, shoot your own teammate, or accidentally explode and bomb everyone with your fireball, or you cast a lightning strike but you suddenly got a heart attack. It's like if you finish using your mana, you will gain a misfortune cast. This is like a hidden effect that I will never tell my player. Technically, if my friends like sit here and watching me, they might slowly understand how troll I am. If they're going to join the collab. It's basically like everything have a caveat, and the caveat is basically me just being very creative. Being very creatively troll the shit out of them. And again, like I say, detective will have like a very funny skill. While everyone can default roll for normal attack, is like if you roll 1, 2, 3 to 10, like there will be some is miss, some is like hit, and some is the crit. Depends on like which thing is going to crit or like hit or something like that. So depends on how they roll. But detective don't really have one. They have two numbers they have to choose the moment they start. They choose that class. Two numbers they have to choose. One is going to be their lucky numbers, and then they have to like choose the lucky which like two of those numbers are going to be a lucky number. So that die will be like have like a fixed what it's going to do. It's like when I say like deductive skill and like a miss like and deductive miss and deductive. But if they choose a certain number, I will replace that particular one. Depends on they have like which one. So if they manage to like erase both missed they have, actually it's not like both missed, it's they only got like 2 deductive among like most of everything is just missed. So detective skill is actually uses attack is something called deductive. They can reveal a secret from the enemy, so they can reveal either the enemy weakness or the enemy like how you say their weapons, what kind of like weapon stat they have, because like I have like item, so what kind of item they have or what kind of scenario they can like beat the game. So it's a very OP characters, but also very useless because they only got 2 hit for the detect. So among the 10 they only got 2. So if they manage to accidentally replace both detect, it's going to be very funny. Because there will be one is what you call the lucky roll. Actually, it's unfortunately lucky roll, and another one is a super detective mode. Unfortunately lucky is what you call you use a detective skill, so convincingly. Even you give a false statement, it's basically like, I deduct that you have 20 HP, and then originally he only got 10 HP, but you deduct that he have 20 HP and he will have 20 HP, and you can never go for and that kind of scenario is something that I will add it for him. It's not that he can randomly say something. And all the mist that he have to sprout random bullshit. It's basically the detective mist is basically he mispredicts stuff or misdeductive stuff. So he will say some very useless stuff. It's like, he is holding a sword. No shit, Sherlock. He want to kill us. No shit, Sherlock. So it's basically it's the mist is literally called no shit, Sherlock. This is why it's called detective class. It's completely useless. They do have a skill that is kind of useful. The passive is literally just replace like two of the marking, like two of their like attack roll into different thing. But they have a skill and one item. One item is detective is basically kind of like a bard, but because like they have like one item that is called the perfect mimic, not perfect mimic, what I name it again, like false recorder. False recorder is basically you can use that thing to talk, and it will make a very convincing voice. It's basically if you hide behind a rock and then try to sound like a dragon talking to people, they will be convinced that this is the sound of a dragon that talking to people. It's like if you show, it's like a super, like you know like Supernatural have like this white paper, they show it to anyone. It's if they say like FBI, they will like see FBI. If they say CIA or something like certificate stuff, they will like show a badge out. Like from the person perspective, when they perceive it that way, they will see it that way. So the false recorder is like something like that. And then they have this is actually the Detective Conan like reference. They have a sleep dart. Like their skill is like they can shoot a sleep dart from their wristband. And the sleep dart will have like they will only have 5 shots. So they can let people sleep and let them a guaranteed hit. All the miss will convert to hit. It's actually a pretty useful skill, but generally his normal attack is kind of like useless. And if he use up all his sleep dart, he can't do jack shit. And then sleep dart doesn't work on medium or large size enemy. So enemy will have 4 type: small, normal, medium, large. Technically, I want to add one more called Goliath too. Goliath is basically just like one big enemy. It's like a giant dragon or something like that. Large is like a giant, but it's not. Dragon is still bigger than a giant. Something like that. But yeah, here's the thing, like the game is going to be very like I won't say headache, it's more like challenge for me to be very creative. It's basically everyone will have like a very normal set of like mechanic, like again, they have like a hit roll, and then they will have like 1 skill they can cast. And mage have 2 skill. Mage can get two magic skill to use. And detective like have this like weird ass thing, like jester, like everyone have like that one like funny gimmick. But when it comes to enemy, it's basically they are still use the same mechanic, and then I can just make up any item they can have in the hand. And that item will basically give like a very either OP shit or like very ridiculous like effect. either add one more attack or add two more attack. Here's the thing, I want to make my game as like reasonable as possible, so everything is going for 9-9 again. When I say 9-9, I mean it's like maximum you can have is 9 HP, 9 MP when you start the game, like maximum. Or in the sense like everything like basically have something. It's like I already like have like stamina, MP, armor, like all those basic thing. But when depends on class, I would give them a different choice, very random choice. So I have to make my game very adaptable, but also some sense is very basic. I can just homebrew stuff on the spot. That at the end it won't go like super ridiculous. It's like the club of hubris. So it's basically the first one who get hit, he will get like double damage. Like the club will have like double damage. Basically the enemy attack will double damage, and after that, then the next third strike will be double damage again. So it's like people will like prepare either to avoid the double damage, or like to stun him, or do something else, or like pick his nose or something, make him sneeze, or like do anything they have to do to stop that third strike. Or they have to flatter him. Yeah, yes, they have to flatter him. If they didn't manage to flatter him, and then he will give like the guaranteed crit attack, double attack. Yeah. So I'm just like basically make shit out of spot. So the encounter will either go really fast or really slow. And how should I say this? So the encounters that I will create 15 encounters, and basically each encounter you get like a random thing, and then each time you beat something, you can add one stat to one of the 3 main resources you have. Again, it's either HP, MP, stamina, or like armor or mana shield. And then at every, I was going to say every 5th round, I do want it that way, but I might have to change it to every 4th round you get like one item, or you get a roll to get an item, or like a scroll or something like that. So I have to make 100. Here's the thing, I want to set up maybe I have to write down lots of stuff if I actually create something like this. But yeah, I'm going to create 100 item. Among all those 100 items, there will be 20 main weapon, and then 10 offhand, and then 5 shield, and then 15 armor, how many I have? Calculator. 20 plus 10 plus 5 plus 15. Yep. And 10 legendary weapon. And 10 more gag weapon. So it'll be 70. And then the rest of 30 is spell or skill. So it's going to be either useful spell or useless spell. The weapon is also can be useful or not useful. They can try to think of it. Technically, I shouldn't actually just like 30 skill. 30 skill is... Maybe I should just separate it nicely. Because like the weapon itself, they do have skill. So like I don't really have to set skill. It's just spell. So having 30 of them is a little bit too much. Maybe just 20 spell. And I can have 10 items. One of them will be a jar of peanut butter. Yeah, I am making a D&D game. I already got like overlay that I'm trying to set up. You know, if you ever seen like Hololive like Fauna did like the D&D game for like his EM member, I want to do something like that too. And I want to create like a something like a, what do you guys call it? Collab sessions like for doing D&D. But it's me trolling you guys basically. Like all the scenario is basically me trolling you guys. And I say again, there will be quite a lot of class. Each and every time I will create each and every scenario I will create a certain class. Some is like basically Joker class, is like useless class, completely useless, but I will never tell you that are they useless or not, because I will let people choose by name first. It's basically I give you this class like fighter. I will not show anything. It's just the base stat of the. It's like, okay, fighter, you get this much HP, you get this much stamina, you get this much armored. And then mage, you get this much HP, you get this much mana, you get this much like mana shield, something like that. I will never tell them what skill you have, what skill you can do, and what kind of things you can do. So mage, they can choose 5 spell when they kind of like select the mage, and that will tell them, oh, you can choose 5. You can choose 2 among this 5 spell. So because you only got 2 spell slots, so let them have like 5 spells. Like they can choose like fireball, like lightning strike, or something like falling boulder, or like pitfall, or like grease, or something like that. Not actually grease. It's like it's what they call it again, like frictionless. Yes, frictionless. Something literally called frictionless, or like there will be some spell that just very vague. Very vague. And there also be like some circumstances if you are in like, it's called the Dungeon of the Void, from the Void. It's basically some like timey-wimey and dimension shift happening. So each encounter you will be in various different theme area, or maybe like you're in a cave, maybe you are in a sci-fi area, or maybe you are in some fantasy area, or you are in modern era, or you're fighting right beside Mortal Kombat. Really depends on my mood. Really depends on my mood, but also depends on the environment. It's like, if you are in a cave, you decided to fire a fireball, I will make shit up that your fireball will kill everyone. Or your fireball, like your action have consequences. My entire sessions will be me trolling you guys by keep making this thing as random as possible and then as realistic as possible. And somehow it's like, wait, you fire a fireball inside a cave? Cave only have a certain amount of oxygen. If you fire a fireball, doesn't it burn all the oxygens? Yes, it does. So now everyone struggled to breathe, and everyone took like 5 damage. I will literally do that shit. And then like fighter, like one of the like possible is basically fighter is the worst one because it's just 50-50 you will get trolled. It's like if this fighter particularly, I just like specify, oh okay, this fighter this time he have a shield with him, so you get a 2 different shield skill. You can choose one is shield bash, and then another one is shield troll. And then the other guy be like, if like they don't have any range attacker, like he selected last or something, like if they don't have any like range attacker, and then they be like, oh, shield troll, I can deal like range damage, right? And I'll be saying like, yes, you can do range damage. But I just let them know that. But when they actually use the shield troll, they lose all their armor. Why? Because they tossed out the only thing to protect them. What do you expect? You throw out the shield, it bounce back like freaking Captain American shield? You toss your shield out, you can't get it back now. Until you finish the entire encounter, you will have no armor. I would do those kind of things. It's basically just me trolling everyone. See how long did they survive my trolling. So there would be like 15 stage. They can get a job advancement on the 6th stage if they manage to survive. And each 4 stage they get a chance to roll an item. Basically loot the chest. So there's like 100 item that I need to make. This will going to be a headache for me. So it's like 100 item. Eat me. I wrote it wrong. Using mouse to write is hard, okay? Let me try to use the I need to redemptions. Okay. Good. So 100 item, there will be like 20 main weapons, 10 off 10, 5 shield, and then like 15 armored, 10 legendary item, weapon or armor, something like that. Just 10 type of legendary stuff, and 10 gag weapon. It's like drumstick. You get a drumstick to attack people with, a gigantic drumstick. But if you attack people, if they eat your drumstick, they will get healed or something like that. It's a 1-go stream because depends on how it's going to be. Actually, it's just going to be very fast because it's not like a very long scenario. It's basically each time they finish an encounter, there will be a void portal to open. They will go into the void portal, immediately go into another encounters. So the encounters will be super duper fast, and it's just fighting. And they will also, of course, be in scenario. They just have to do some talking, this and that, yada yada stuff. Yeah, again, this is just me trolling people like in the D&D session. So if I spend the D&D sessions a little bit too long, it might become too hard to troll them because they already know what I'm going to do. So it's best to just have like a very short campaign and then troll them once, fine, and then I need to find a new batch of people to troll. And also depends like how good are they. If they manage to like anti-troll that far, and then they can get like one of like the hidden void key. And if they manage to find a hidden void key, they can unlock 5 more stage. Technically not 5 more stage. Yes, it's 5 more stage. And they can fight the true boss, me. Yeah, how to keep track with schedule is one of the thing too. And best to like just troll them once is fine already. Imagine like entire campaign, like full on 1 month, you just get trolled non-stop. You're gonna get bored with that, you know. I'm going to make it like very simple again, like similar with like how Fauna does her D&D. It's basically you will get again like skill is guaranteed use. If you want to use it's like a guarantee hit. You don't have to like roll for anything. It's like shield throw, you will deal like 2 damage at range, guarantee. And then if you throw it, I would never tell people like the flavor text about like the skill. I'll just tell them what it does. They just have to use their brain. They just have to use their brain and then think about it. Wait a minute, if I use my shield throw, can I get my shield back? Like something like that. The more they play, the more they will understand how troll I am. I'm going to like all skill itself have a consequences. And then if they got a hang of the consequences, things aren't going to be as troll as much troll. I won't say anything if they didn't trigger my troll things. And if they didn't manage to get troll for a while, and then I would toss them in a scenario, is basically, you guys don't have to fight. You went into the bar, what will you guys start to do? Just give them something very vague, and then they personally just start trolling around themselves. Basically, it's a troll dungeon. So everyone like get a attack sheet. Is basically they roll 10 die. Well, basically they roll a d10. So this entire game can finish with a single d10. And I'm not kidding about that. It's just a single d10. Everyone can finish with just a single d10. And if they don't have d10, I just can use my like computers to roll for them. And depends on like how I do the class. There will be like 1 is hit, and then like 2 is miss, and then 3 is miss, like 4 is like hit, and then 7 is crit, and then like 8 is miss, and then like 9 is like something. Really depends. And I have this idea for this like detective class. It's basically useless. Like I say, like one of the classes guarantee is going to be useless, but it's also very fun to play. How to very fun to play? He basically he have this like hit roll that he have. Let me try to erase most of the stuff here. So detective have a certain hit roll. So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there will be a hit is called deduct. So basically, he can't hit people. All his hit, he only got 2 deduct. He can basically once you hit deduct, you can deduct your enemy and reveal like his informations. Either you can choose to reveal like his weakness, or somehow his past, or somehow something about him, or like what item he have, or what weapon he is using. You know, those kind of things. And then the rest of it is called no shit Sherlock. So if they hit the no shit Sherlock die, they have to say something. It's like, I deduct that this guy is going to kill us. No shit Sherlock. Or they have to say something either very useless or very obvious. They personally have to be very creative about it. So it's like one of like the most hilarious like the thing you can do with like this thing. And then the class advance, they also like before they start they have a passive. It's called lucky number, and then another one called super detective. Super detective is basically a bonus weakness detections. You only can detect weakness. And it's actually, once you detect, you basically convert all your party into crit. Every attack into crit. Basically double damage. It's basically, this is like the super detective mode. And another one, unfortunately, is called Unfortunately Lucky. That is a lucky roll. Unfortunately Lucky is actually it's like a nat 1. Yeah, Unfortunately Lucky is like a nat 1 for a roll that you basically give a false deductions. Like it's basically you're going to buff your enemy. Like, depends on my mood. I'm going to buff it however I want, but it's going to be like, originally the mob is going to have like 15 HP only. It's like it's like a giant with like 15 HP, but because of your unlucky deductions, you make it you actually believe yourself in that false deduction so much, you make it so convincing, you manage to convince your enemy to have that false number. So imagine like you say like they originally have like 15 HP, and then you say I deduct you to have 20 HP, and then they suddenly have 20 HP. Even the enemy believe that they are like false deductions. So this is called like lucky misfortunes. Or misfortune. What I call it again. Basically, it's like super lucky guess. Yes, lucky guess. But on the negative side, instead of like reveal like their weakness, they accidentally buff their enemy. Either buff or like I can say like next hit is guaranteed going to crit. So he might kill someone accidentally. So all the skill, everything is like basically it's like a cut down skill. Nobody knows what the heck they are going to happen if they reveal the characters. It's like, I'm not going to tell you what detective does. I'm just going to tell you, you have this 5 class to choose. You have fighter, mage, archer, like cleric, and then this like detective. What the heck is a detective? Or like sometimes I would just like have like a standard, like a few like other standard, like a mage, a barbarian, or something like that, and then there will be a guy who is called like future fighter. No, not future fighter, future warrior. And then you'd be like, what the heck is a future warrior? Warrior from the future, duh. Again, like really depends, because I let people choose their class, and then once finished explanations of what it's basically they can't backseat, no take back. If they choose a detective and then I will say lock in, yes, lock in, and then I'll explain what detective does, and then they think, oh shit, this is a useless class, and then they want to like back out. No, you cannot back out anymore. You choose detective, you're always detective. And the advanced class is actually pretty funny. The advanced class for detective, originally I want him to start with the item, but I think it's a little bit too OP, so I'm going to let them like having like advanced class to have it. It's basically Detective Conan reference. He get like a skill is to shoot a sleeping dart at people. He only got 5 dart, so you have to like use it like wisely. And he got like this thing is called false recorder. It's basically if anyone watch like Supernatural, like Sam and Dean always like use this like white paper. They just say like FBI. People will see that paper. If they hear the word FBI, they would just think, they would just see the FBI sign, the badge, or something like that. So it's like something like that, but it's like the recorder that can make a very convincing sound, convincing voice. So it's basically, it's like you can just hide behind a rock and then try to be a dragon, and then you will sound like a very convincing dragon, something like that. So it's like Detective Conan like reference. And back to the Future Warrior. Future Warrior is technically a fighter, but he have the same exact stat as fighter and same like hit roll with fighter. He just doesn't have a fighting skill because he's actually pretty useless fighter, so he didn't learn any fighting skill. And but he have a passive that is like he is a warrior from the futures. So he kind of like read about his like he read a storybook about him, that how he win the fight, how he complete his like missions. So he has he have a passive skill is like I can see the futures. I can see the future. His passive skill is if he roll, it depends, like if his enemy roll a odd number or even number, is like if the enemy rolls 6 and then he roll the opposite of it, is like depends, any number is just roll the opposite of it. If the enemy is roll a odd number and then you roll even number, you can dodge the attack because you deviate from a fate. So you should like get hit, or you should like maybe like you should get hit or you should not get hit or something like that. But if long as you roll a different odd with your enemy, you will dodge it. But if he roll an even and then you roll another even 2, and then you will get hit, guarantee get hit, and also get crit. Basically, it's why he know the futures but he can't dodge it. Basically, it's this one thing. He is actually a very useless warrior. He might know the future, but he don't have the skill to dodge it. So his dodge is actually just on pure luck. But he can dodge it because he know it will happen. So his dodge is actually legit pure luck. That is his like skill. His only passive skill is basically a reactions. And I want to create like more like shitty characters. That not shitty character, like shitty class. Just for fun. It's like a gardener. What a gardener do? You have a weapon called the hoe. And it's basically like you get a hit, it's called a strike from the hole. that is your skill. And actually it's just +1 damage only. It doesn't do jack shit. I have to figure out like how to use the gardener, and maybe I need to like add some like funny stuff, more funny stuff into it. It's basically like maybe like passive skill, they can have talk to plant, just that. Yes, they just can't talk to plant, or like they can only talk to a specific tree. It's basically I only can talk to this specific breed of tree or plant species. So every single time, like if they roll encounters that there will be like a plant type monster, and then they have to ask me like what kind of plant species it is. I don't know. You can do you have detective? No. Then you can't. Then who knows? You can try to talk to them, I guess, but you waste a turn for it. It's basically everything like have a big caveat. It's like you can talk to plant, but only one certain type of species. And then there would be like a few plant species like they will start like encountering for no reasons, and then like he had to like either A, try to talk to the plant, or B, try to just attack, like not do anything like that. So it's like I try to like balance out like the trollness and the vagueness into it. I need to be as vague as possible and be as creative as possible on the spot. I mean like actually legitly on the spot. Imagine like the enemy have like an item, it's called the Club of Hubris. Every third strike that he will guarantee crit, guarantee double damage. But if you spend around to sort of like compliment him or praise him, and then he would not, the third strike would become a mist. Something like that, like something like really funny and something really useless. So it's basically I need to like create a lot of situation on the spot. It's a pure chaotic dungeons. Yeah, just generally something like that. That is how I plan it. And I need to create 100 items for it. It's going to be a hassle. A lot of things I have to do. And then a lot of artwork I have to do. I don't think I need to make it like too fancy. Like this one I already like have it like quite nice. I just have to like add more stuff into it, make it much more either futuristic or this and that, yeah, that stuff. Because I already got like the background overlay or something like this, and then I need to create a border for my for the players. Like I already have like most of the border stuff like finished. This is the screen, this will be the stat, like putting like on top of here, and then this will be opening for the streamer to be in. Either they can put their face in there, or they put their Vtuber, or they put their like PNG tuber. Really depends. Really depends. And this will be the stat of the enemy. I can like add or write stuff on the spot. I guess. No, I guess like it will be. And then here's me. Here is like the tab and stat of like your characters. Depends on who I will like open different thing. Yeah, I already got like most of the thing kind of like already settled. All I need to do is just more design and stuff, and then spend some time to do a lot of writing. And again, like how people know how to like roll the item they have is basically all items have a number. And you roll a certain number, you get that item. If you every 4 stage you get like a chance to like loot a chest. You can choose not to loot a chest actually. Don't know why you want to, but you can choose not to. And every single encounter you can add 1 stat to your like thingy, like either your stamina, your mana, your like armored, or your health, those kind of things. But yeah, generally it's like those are like the things that I wanted to do. And yeah, I need to spend some time to like write down all the item stuff in the futures. Again, might be a little bit of a headache, but I will do it. While at the same time, I have to do animations about this thing. Still have lots of things to go. But this is like a coming soon screen. Either it's like a running scene. I was teaching people how to do animation and stuff, and how to use tweening and like hand draw animation at the same time, this and that. And if you didn't know, if I actually don't have this thing on, if I select this and then turn off the tweening, you can see it's just jump on the same spot. So if I turn on the tweening, it will feel like they are jumping forward. Yeah, but either way, yes. It's late for me. It's like, what time is it? 4 a.m. So it's 4 a.m. already. I should go to sleep. It's late night. So either way, thank you very much for watching. And as always, stay healthy, stay safe. Until next time, stay tuned on the next stream. Bye-bye.